If you're building automations for clients or you just want to architect your own processes, then this video is for you. I'm gonna show you a newsletter automation that takes 20 minutes to build. It's super adaptable, it creates professional emails, and it turns newsletter writing into a 60-second task. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Dan. I've spent a decade working as a software engineer, and now I've quit all my client work so I can focus fully on AI automation and teaching. And without further ado, let's get into the build. We are gonna use n8n for this automation. If you don't already have an account, then click on the link in the description below. It's actually open source, you can host it yourself, but I'm choosing to use their cloud version because it's faster and it only costs like 30 bucks a month. And you get a 15-day trial. So I'll just go ahead and sign in. Now let's create a new workflow. Give it a name. I'm gonna name my newsletter so I know what it is. Now, we want this workflow to run every month on the 2nd. So let's add a schedule node. We select here months, trigger at day of month, and we want it to run at, I don't know, let's say at noon. Now let's press on execute step so we can see that it works. And now we want the history. We don't want the AI to repeat itself. So let's go to Google Drive. In here I created a simple Google Sheet, so go ahead and create this. Call it newsletter history or give it whatever name you want. As headers I added text and date sent. Text will be the actual email content, and then date sent will be the day we send the newsletter out. So we'll use this for filtering to get the previous months only. So let's head back to n8n and add a Google Sheet node, get rows in sheet. Okay, you'll have to configure your account. It's very simple, just press right here on create new credential, click auth2, then press on sign in with Google, and right here select from list and choose your document. You can search for it. Then you'll have to select the sheet, it's the first one because we only have one. Then we can add a filter right here, and we just need to select the date sent. Here we need to add an expression for the 2nd of last month, so I'm just gonna go ahead and paste it. You can just ask ChatGPT how to write this or just copy it off the screen. So it's now minus 1 month, start of month plus 1 day, and we give it the same format as we have in the newsletter history sheet. We already have an entry for the 2nd of November, and let's try and execute the step and see if it brings anything back. Great, it worked fine. Now let's go ahead and save the workflow and then add an OpenAI node, message a model. Okay, so you'll need to get an API key. Let me show you how to do so. So head to platform.openai.com. Then you'll need to sign in. I already have an account. It should work with the same account used for ChatGPT. Then press on settings, API keys, and click right here on generate a new secret key. Then give it a name. I'm gonna name mine test because I'm gonna delete it after. Select the project, the default one, create secret key. Great, then copy this and don't share this with anyone because anyone who has access to this key will have access to your account. So copy it, then go back to n8n, click right here on create new credential and paste it. Then we'll have to select a model. I'm gonna use 5.1 because it's their latest one and it's very good. And we'll have to give it a message. I'm gonna expand it by pressing right here. Based on the email history above, generate newsletter content with the following sections. So I'm building this test newsletter for an AI agency. So we're gonna have an intro, 3 automations of the previous month, automation concept of this month, news for the last month in AI automation space, and a challenge of the month, then an outro. Okay, great. Provide the content in a structured format with clear section headings. Great. And we're gonna have to give it the text we got from the Google Sheet node. So let's head back to the Google Sheet node, press on execute step, go back to the message model node, then you can just drag and drop the text right here. And that's all you have to do. Then save it and press on execute step. Okay, and it answered. Perfect. Next. As you've seen, we just got some text. Now we need to format it into an email HTML. So how do we do that? Head to your favorite AI. I'm gonna use Gemini for this one because Gemini 3 Pro just launched and it's awesome. From my point of view, it creates the best HTMLs. Okay, so create an HTML for a newsletter template for an AI agency called Brand Bounce. So you can replace this with anything you'd want, then add placeholders between those characters right here. They are called pipes. We're gonna use them for parsing later. Okay, then make sure to only set the variables, no extra stuff. We're gonna use an AI for adding the actual info. Make it simple so emails can render it. Then we'll have a color palette, and you can give it additional details for how you want it to look, but I'm just gonna tell it make sure it looks modern and clean. Then you'll have to give it the sections so it knows where to add these placeholder values, and you can just copy them from the AI node right here, copy and paste them, and we are gonna click on send. It just returned the HTML, but we're gonna have to add another AI node before. So I'm gonna choose to add the Gemini node because I love how it works with data now. Now click on AI, search for Gemini, it's right here, message a model. We are gonna have to add another API key here. Go ahead and search for Google AI Studio. Then right here you'll have the API keys. I think it will configure a default one for you, so you can just go ahead and click on copy API key. For the latest model to work, I think you're gonna have to add a billing account. So you can set it up right here by clicking on view billing. I already have it set up. You can just copy this API key, then head back to n8n, create a new credential, then just paste it right here. Click on save and it should work fine. We're gonna have to select a model. I'm gonna select the latest one, which is Gemini 3. Okay, it's this one, Gemini 3 Pro Preview. I mean, you can still use OpenAI for this. I feel like this one is just a tiny bit better, so that's why I used it. You can just stick to OpenAI. Now we'll have to give it a prompt. So we want to take the newsletter content that OpenAI just generated and put it in the HTML template that Gemini generated for us here. Using the newsletter content above, generate a complete HTML email by filling the following template. Replace every placeholder. So see these pipes that I was telling you about that we're gonna replace with the correct values extracted or inferred from the newsletter content. Important, keep. And then we give it some details. And now we have to drag and drop the content that OpenAI generated for us. So just go on ahead and drag text right here. Great. Then you can format it a bit, play with it. And now we have to paste the HTML template right here. Go back to Gemini, copy it, then paste. Great. Let's expand it and see if it worked fine. It has the HTML template, it has the text that OpenAI generated. So let's go on ahead and test it. Press on execute step. Okay, seems like it worked fine. Okay, now we need to have people to send this newsletter to. So I created this sheet in Google Sheets. I've named it newsletter email list. So this is gonna be our email list. You can take it from anywhere, you can integrate it with Notion. I chose Google Sheets just because it's very simple and we've done it before. So we have the lead name and the email. You can add more info and use it in the emails. You can personalize them based on stuff, but let's keep it simple for now. So head back to newsletter, click on plus, search for Google Sheets, get rows. Now select the sheet you just created, newsletter email list. Then the first sheet, we won't be having filters here because we want all the leads. Maybe you can have a column for subscribed or not subscribed, because if people unsubscribe, then you're gonna have to mark them legally, you're gonna have to mark them as unsubscribed. But let's leave it as it is for now. And let's press on execute step. And we got both. Great. Now we need to actually send the email, and we want to send the email from our domain. So I actually own brandbounce.io. I have Google Workspace configured, so I can use Google for this. So search for Gmail, send a message, and I've created the credential for my domain. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you that we can sign in with Google and use the account that's created for the domain you want to send the email from. Click on continue, connections successful, great, account connected, great. Now we can close this window. Then we're gonna have to select to whom we're sending, so just drag and drop email from the left right here. Then a subject, let's just add brand bounce newsletter for now. Email types should be HTML, and then we actually have to add the HTML. So in the message model node from Gemini, you got the text right here, so just go on ahead and drag and drop it. Great. Now if we press on execute step, we should actually be receiving the email. So let's try that. It was sent, great. Now let's check our Gmail right here. it looks absolutely great. It's also responsive, you can check it on your mobile. Now, if we wanted to change anything, then we can just copy the template from here, paste it into Gemini or ChatGPT or anything, and then we can tell it what we want to be improved. But let's leave it as it is for now. Now that we've sent the emails, we have to keep the history alive. So next month we know what was the last newsletter. So let's go on ahead and add a new node. Search for Google Sheets, append or update row in sheet, great. Select the newsletter history document, then the first sheet. It needs a column to match on, so select date sent. Okay, now we need to add the text. It's from message model from OpenAI, just drag and drop it right here. And then date sent needs to be today. So let's save it, go back, head to the first get rows in sheet and copy this date right here. Go back to your current node and paste it, switch to expression, and this code right here returns the 2nd of last month. So we just need now. Let's just delete everything from now to format. Okay, it works fine. We are on the 2nd of December 2025. Great. Now we can save it and press on execute step, head back to your Google Sheet and see that it added the history. Great, it added it twice, so we got a bug. And it's very simple, so once we added this node right here which returns multiple entries, then all the other nodes will be executed for each of the items here. So what we need to do after the Gmail node, which needs to be executed twice, we need to add an aggregate node. Simple as that. And then we just have to select a single field. I'll just select the ID right here because we ain't gonna use this data anyhow. So let's press on execute step. And as you can see, now we have one item right here, so it should work fine next time, but let's test it. So let's go on ahead and delete row 3 and row 4. Now save it, go back and press again on execute step. Great, now if we check the newsletter history, we should only have it once. It works fine. Okay, now you can save the workflow and set it as active. This is all you had to do. Now, there are more things that you can play with and improve. For example, if you want to give it some topics that you want the AI to discuss about, then you can head back to the first OpenAI messenger model node and add a tool to it. Search for sheets, then add the details that you want it to talk about in a Google Sheet and connect it to this sheet right here. Or for example, if you want to have dynamic HTMLs and you want the newsletter to look different from month to month, I mean, you shouldn't do that because you need to keep your brand presence. But you could just tell the AI right here to not replace an existing HTML, but to create a new one each time. There's something important here, so it added a few links. So you have a button for accept challenge, which goes nowhere. Then you'll have to go to your HTML template and add your actual links. I mean, right here in Messenger Model, see if you expand it, you can search through this HTML where it adds the links and you can just drag and drop your own. Now, there's one more thing that's very important. You must have an option to unsubscribe. This is from a legal perspective. So people should be able to unsubscribe from your email list and quit receiving emails from you. Right now it won't do anything, so you have to add an actual link that maybe starts another automation, an unsubscribe automation, and then it edits this newsletter email list. You can add a column here, unsubscribed. Then if one is unsubscribed, for example this one, you can head back to n8n. When you get the leads right here, you can add a filter for the column unsubscribed. It should be false. Press on execute step and you'll only get the one that is still subscribed. It didn't work like this because it sees this one as a string and this one right here is actually a boolean, but we can just change the formatting here. We can just put F and T here for false or true, and now we can go back and switch this to F and click on execute step, and it returned only the leads that are subscribed. Okay, so if you're someone who's trying to learn automation, I got a fun challenge for you. Try to make this link actually work. You can create an automation that connects to this same Google Sheet and update this automatically. So if someone clicks on this link, actually make them unsubscribe. I'll just give you a simple hint. Think of webhooks. See? It's actually this simple. What used to take 15 hours a month is now happening on its own while you focus on the work that matters. And if you're someone who's trying to level up your automation skills or just want to build better processes for your team, then click on this video right here. I'll show you how to build automations that work with documents so you can save a lot of time.